Right, so good evening, everyone. This is our seminar 2, and I appreciate everybody being here on time. What we are going to discuss around assignment 1, so topics, well, just a recap on topic 1, and then mainly the emphasis is going to be on topic 2. There is very little that you need from topic 3 for the first assignment. And in most cases, in like majority of topic 3 is so straightforward that you basically won't need much facilitation because it's about a variety of problem-solving methods. This topic, however, will be required and useful for you for the next assignment. Right, so are there any burning questions to start with? And then I can share what I planned for tonight. No, nothing specific. This is what I mean. Anything specific, a burning question. Otherwise, we'll start, and then feel free to interrupt me if you have a question. If I'm planning to cover it, I'll say it's coming in the slides, or we can discuss it, or I will deal with that question straight away. Hello,
Ella.
Savannah. Yes.
I have a question I was planning to cover in coaching, but I can ask it now.
Sure.
In the first 2 sections of the AT1 template, the decision-making context and the decision-making approach, are we referring to the actual, is that more theory, or are we talking about the theory, but then also applying it to the decision in that meeting? Or is the meeting, because
hello, Melody. Our coach Melody has just joined us. Sorry to interrupt you, Kylie, because I have that question covered, but as Melody is here as well, that's a fantastic opportunity to do that. Who hasn't met Melody yet? Please give me a sign. Okay, some of you have. Melody, welcome. Would you like to say a couple of words about yourself and how things are going?
Thank you very much, Elle. I think I've met most of you in the room already, if not booked in. So great to meet you all. A couple of familiar faces. You are stuck with me again if you've had me before. But yeah, great to meet you all. Really encourage you to make use of the coaching service to supplement your learning in the webinars here. And there are 4 drop-in sessions also scheduled, which you can grab the dates off the forum for. So those are really, really useful just to come together. You're all online studying. It can be quite isolating. So a lot of people get value out of those sessions just to exchange stories and challenges and tips and tricks. So really encourage you to use those sessions. But otherwise, really enjoy this unit. It's a fantastic one. Thank you, Elle.
Thank you so much. Now, what are the most common questions that you get, Melody? As part of selecting a meeting, perhaps?
Yes, definitely for this subject, the meeting selection. I generally recommend you check in before you start AT1, really bed down your strategy for the assignment, what meeting you're going to choose. Or if you're doing the alternative, how you're going to approach the alternative assessment. We can also provide the service of reviewing your drafts on screen. So once you've got a draft sort of underway, you are more than welcome to book a session and we can have a look and have a chat about where you're headed. And then most people do a 3rd session once you've got your marks back from AT1. Let's digest that and debrief, and then use any feedback to sort of build your strategy going into assessment 2. And then same thing, having to review a draft of assessment 2 as well. So that's probably the most common way people use the service, but there's plenty of other ways. If you're just struggling with time management or freaking out or just need a bit of a pep talk, we are more than happy to provide that as well.
I do encourage you to use Melody as a sounding board, because sometimes when you talk through with somebody, You articulate your thoughts, you are more accurate, precise, what you are saying, and sort of answer your own questions almost at the same time. Yeah, this is what psychologists are paid for. They listen to the patient, yeah, do not talk much, and patient is leaving happy and leaving some money behind as well. Thank you for mentioning the feedback on assignment 1, because I tend to mark as quick as possible, usually within 3, maximum 4 days. And it's a useful piece for reflection for your mid-cycle week 4 reflection for assignment 3, for your reflection journal as well. Okay, now a good question while you're here, Melody, if you can just bear with us for 1 more minute. Kylie asked about the template. I'm going to show the most common misuse of templates, but also keep in mind that, well, the group you're observing, they have no idea. You're like a secret shopper, all right? So they have no idea of the theories that you are learning and so on. So your purpose is you know the theory, you are tuning in and listening in. What are you noticing? What can you compare to the theories that you know? And this is what you are reporting on. And while you are reporting, you are supporting what you're saying with references and those theories that you know. Yeah. So it should be a balance between what you're saying and how you're applying what you're saying. Yep. So it's not enough just to say what happened in the meeting, and it's not just enough to say what theories do you know. So it has to be a combination. It has to be an application of that theory. Does it help? Yeah, and we'll go through the content again today. All right. So yeah, is there anything else, Melody, that you would like to let people know?
No, that's all. Thank you, Elle. Lovely to see you all, and look forward to working with you.
Oh, thank you so much for dropping in. So
No
we've been
problem
doing
at all.
that unit with Melody for at least a year, perhaps.
Yes, indeed. It's a good
Yeah.
one.
So right. So thank you so much, Melody. You're welcome to stay as long as you want, and we'll keep going. Okay. Right. So guys, my plan for tonight is basically go through the housekeeping. Yeah. Burning questions. It looks like we had one, but we'll keep on covering and answering those questions. A bit of, I structured around most common sort of errors in assignment 1, where to maybe highlighting those potential pitfalls. We are basically focusing on topic 2. There is very little in topic 3, and I will very clearly identify where it is. And the main emphasis is application of those topics onto those practical scenarios. Okay. Now, in terms of housekeeping, most of you are continuing students. If there is somebody who is new to AIM or is watching this and is new to AIM, everything is in the ABS policy of assessments. However, in a short format, if you need a 1-week extension, it is an informal process. Just email me. You don't need to go through the forms or student services. I just want to remind you that all people who are studying in this unit are usually working full-time. They usually have a family to run, and they're usually studying. So be considerate, and keep in mind that I have to be considerate and fair when people ask for extension. So I trust that you are adult learners and you will not ask the extensions just because oh, maybe I'll get an extension. So I trust you will give me a good reason for that. Okay. Now, sometimes people get sick or whatever. If you, again, you don't need to go through the formal process up to 2 weeks. Okay. While policy says that I might ask you for supporting evidence if you ask for 2 weeks extensions. However, sometimes really bad things happen. I'm not authorized to give more than 2 weeks. If you need more than 2, and sometimes this happens, like people was flooded or, other emergencies, family emergencies. It's not a difficult process, but it has to go through the student services, and you need to complete the form to request it. And I haven't heard that anybody wasn't approved for a genuine reason, okay? Now, remember that extensions do not apply to assignment 3, so that is your reflection journal, which is a gradual submission, yeah? Just a reminder here. What else I noted for myself? Okay, sometimes people ask about turnaround. Again, I'm trying, because I'm fully aware it's a very, very brief, short learning cycle. So I'm trying to get you the feedback in 3 to 4 days. I usually need to mark at least 15 to start releasing the feedback, because I need to ensure the consistency of marking for the quality purposes. And you can submit the assignment early, but please note it won't be marked earlier, again, for those consistency reasons. Okay, and I do encourage you to wait for the feedback before you start thinking about reflecting on your midpoint learning. Okay. And what else is important? I noticed, well, settings sometimes change. So if you studied, let's say 3 months ago or a year ago, some people return to study, you submit your assignment, it goes to turn it in. And only after the score is generated, you need to sort of click on the final submit button. Otherwise, I see it as a draft, and I'm not allowed to mark drafts. Okay, I'm just simply not allowed to mark drafts. So until you submit it as a final assignment, I can't mark it. Okay, and if you are in doubt, if you get stuck, if there is some navigation technical issue, do not hesitate to call student support or email me, you know, I have this difficulty, blah, blah. Okay, but your first point of call for technical issues is student support, because I do not have access to the back end of my ABS. As simple as that. Okay, any questions regarding those technicalities that we have just covered? I really don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Yeah, is it okay to move on? Yeah, okay, fantastic. Right, what else is there? Right, okay, so let's common pitfalls on assignment 1. Now, just for general guidance, what you need, essential topics are in topic 1, topic 2, and in topic 3, that's just usually the start of it. 3 and 2 will be most useful for your next assignment, because in the next assignment, you will have to apply problem-solving methods, right? So what I would say currently, because it's not your priority, so to speak, glance through, just in case somebody in the meeting are using some of those strategies. It is very rare, but it sometimes happens. But most of topic 3 about problem solving will be required for you in assignment 2. Yeah, so you will apply it. And it's really straightforward. I'll show you the subtopics, but I'm not planning to spend a lot of time on it. Sometimes people, for whatever reason, go and write something that we have in topic 4 or 5, like biases and heuristics. I don't really recommend that, because it's not accessible. You're not going to get extra points for that. Yeah, so focus more on what's here, right, rather than something here. It's not like, oh, I'm a hero, I read through and I read the entire unit and I'm writing about it. So sometimes it could be an AI suggestion when you put in like, oh, assumption, and oh, here we go. So AI gives you like a tirade of different heuristics. But I would say don't jump ahead and just follow topic 1 and 2 and start with topic 3. Now, template. Okay, so usually now we sort of like, with more experience in this unit and delivery, the message that the template is mandatory is coming through. However, it's created and was approved by the academic committee at AIM to make it for 2 purposes. One is to check whether you understand the concept, so that we can basically assess you on your understanding and on your ability to differentiate them, but also so that you don't need to write executive summary. You don't need to format anything. You just write straight into the template. You don't need any writing introductions, transitional paragraphs of that. Okay, so it's really straightforward, plonk, 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 straight into the template. The word count in the template is an indication. It's an indication in depth and length If you see like 100 words for entire background, so this is what it means, really succinct and concise, okay? In the appendices, again, people sometimes put a lot of detail about the meeting. Now, remember, very important point, this is not a business analysis. It's not about analyzing your business or whatever happening there in terms of the business, not about that company's strategy. It's not about that company's operations. It's not about that company's internal, the way they do things. It's about what are you noticing about what you understand about the context in which they are in, what you understand about what you see is happening with the decision-making process. Are you noticing any gaps? Comparing that with the models, yeah? And also, what is the outcome? Could have the outcome changed had they been more thorough through the process? This is what we want from you, okay? So there's no need to overload your appendix with unnecessary stuff. So what I'm showing on this slide, for example, right, if you are asked to do a background information, sometimes people misinterpret, but I don't want to over highlight it because I don't want people started getting confused as well. So this is just the title. All information should be here, okay? What is the company? Briefly introduce what sort of company it is. Date of the meeting you had, what was the objective, why that meeting was called, what was the outcome. Yes, there's not really, it's not about analyzing in this part. It's just giving a basic understanding, and the entire thing here should be up to 100 words. Leave those precious words for in the analysis section rather than somewhere else, okay? Now, in terms at the end of the template, you can see the appendix. This is where you need to include the agenda. Yeah, remember, do not embed files. I simply can't access them. And appendix 2 is about the verification of that meeting. So read the brief. Remember that template should be used in conjunction with a brief rather than just on its own. It's not like a standalone document, right? Now, what I notice sometimes with references, and this is just like a reminder of ethics, when you are referring to the models or making statements and adding references, I notice that sometimes people, oh, I might need a reference here. Oh, who might put it in? Okay, I'll put the name of the textbook authors, although those textbook authors have no idea or never ever commented on that particular part or that particular concept, for example. So be careful. Do not just insert any reference through the into your text. So just a reminder, no formatting in terms of executive summary, introductions, table of not required. Yeah. Fact-based, succinct, only require details in the appendix. Don't reproduce the images. We don't need beautification of that template, and pictures and so on. It's a postgraduate study, so make it more professional, make it more academic, and do not embed files, okay? No hyperlinking, because I simply can't open them and turn it in. The only thing, again, that you need in the appendix is only the agenda and verification. If you're working on the alternative brief, then it's the link of the recording. Right, okay, so pitfall number 2, very common, confusion. Okay, so you have a template and there are different confusion of what is what. Okay, so let's jump into this one. Right, so I mentioned about the background information, the key areas, what we covered last time, let's say the context. So this is what you do in your template. This is where you start writing, blah, 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 and it's around 500 words, yeah? Approach, approximately 400, this is what you're writing. What happens when people are not sure what topics, what concepts they are actually applying and talking about? What I find that in the context, people start describing the process. For me, it's a red flag. Oh, right, okay, so this person cannot differentiate the process from the context. Okay, so this is one of the reasons we use a template, because it's like shoeboxing. Yeah, what goes where? We're sorting our knowledge here, and you are demonstrating that in your application. Okay, so this is the reason. Another thing is, be careful with the terminology. We mentioned last time that what we use in our everyday language quite often is used differently in the decision-making theory. Yeah. So what the problem is, what the type of the problem is, what is the context. Yeah. So we'll just briefly review that today, but I don't want to go back and spend all the time what we were doing last time. If you missed the webinar, go back into the recording, speed it up, listen to the relevant parts, and you'll be fine. Okay. So yeah. So in terms of those pitfalls, misinterpretation of terms, using them as in our everyday language rather than from theories that we are learning here. So accuracy is important. Addressing the right section of the template. So let's go very briefly switch to the assessment brief, if you don't mind. So last time we discussed the start of it and we covered one big part of it. Remember, read the assessment brief. There are lots of prompt words, keywords. So when you are explaining the context, yeah, so we do expect you to use, let's say, the ecosystem. So there is a model that we are we're sort of learning last time. So you are required to observe one meeting. Yeah. Now, complex decision. Again, that depends on the types of the problems. Yeah. So sometimes people overthink, oh, it's not complex enough, I can't observe that meeting. So you need to know a bit of theory before you start working on it for a correct interpretation. Yeah. So your analysis, it's an analysis informed by decision theories. Again, so it's not about leadership, it's not about business operations, it's not about business strategy, it's not about marketing, it's not about the content of the meeting, it's about the meeting, how people make decisions, what processes they're going, how to understand the context that they are in. Okay, so you have to consider which meeting you are, and some of you already have observed, you're already just at the stage where you need to write it up. Okay, and basically what's in here is in the template, right? So the introduction asks you to identify objectives and outcomes, yeah, very briefly. Then you have to identify the type of the problem. That's in the template as well. The context, yeah, there is a separate section in the template. So you need to draw on decision ecosystem and internal situational factors, for which we use the Kinefin model last time. Okay, so that's your model for that. And again, management approach. Yeah, so different schools of thoughts, modes of thinking, that's indicated here. Okay, so I can't underemphasize how many times you might need to read the brief, because it is in the brief. It's just when you read it once, it doesn't stay in the memory. So your key section really is section 4. And last time we introduced the specific help and done multi-process model as guidance. We are going to use this model throughout all this unit. Yeah, and I noted last time that we are not interested in other models, and we'll repeat today why we're not interested in other models. Then you have to state or observe what was the problem, was how it was defined, that problem in the meeting, yeah, and assess the effectiveness of critical thinking. And for this, we also use a specific model, Yeah, and present your recommendation about how to improve decision-making process. It's not about how to improve your business. It's not how to improve the operations. It's about the decision-making process. Okay, so that's quite common that people get you are so involved in your everyday environment and what you're doing at work that, and especially what you did in other units. Yeah, so they are still on system one thinking. Yeah, so it's a big flag. Question yourself, are you still in system one and doing things that you did before from inertia, or are you really addressing this task differently, deliberately, thinking more carefully, right? At the end, you write the conclusion, and these are the submission requirements. So I don't want to bore you with the same reminders how to submit the assignment. Okay, so now this is what the purpose, or all our attention tonight is going to be. So basically, we are going to discuss this, okay? Problem, because we already touched upon the process. So problem, definition of the problem, critical thinking, and, well, your conclusion should be drawn from the entire observation. So let me go back to topic one now to very briefly go through and jiggle our memory. And even if you do not remember, don't beat yourself up, because it is common and we are learning. But even if you remember it wrongly, we're connecting the neurons in our brain. You will learn. And
has Elle frozen, or is it just me?
No, it's not just you. I think she's having a glitch.
Or is this a trick? Do we need to frame the problem? Reframe, rather.
I DM'd her, so we'll see if she's
How do we
lost the
bring,
connection.
how do we bring Elle back to life? That is the problem.
Yeah.
From previous, sometimes her internet does drop off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's in Melbourne, and sometimes if the weather's bad, it does kind of.
I'm in Melbourne and the weather's not bad at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I was
Okay,
about
goes
to
that
say.
theory.
only -3 and no hail and snow in the same day. I'm only joking. I'm joking.
Is anyone else from Melbourne?
I am.
Ah,
Yeah, it's pretty decent weather. At least it's sunny during the day.
have you all taken other courses with Elle?
Yeah, I have. Oh, is she back again?
Not yet. Oh, maybe. She's still the host.
Thanks, everyone.
bye-bye.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.